Ladies and gentlemen, Convocation is now in session. As Chancellor, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 293rd Convocation. To all our graduates, first let me say congratulations. You have worked hard to achieve this, and graduation represents a major milestone in your lives. At Convocation, we assemble as a university community, the University of Western Ontario community, to celebrate and to recognize your achievements at Western and to wish you every success for the future. However, your learning days are far from over. Learning is a lifetime process, and Western has not provided the answers to all questions. At most, we hope that what stays with you is a way of thinking objectively and approaching problems with an open mind and a healthy respect for new ideas, all tempered with compassion and empathy for the human condition. You are forever a cherished member of this great university, founded more than a century ago, and we welcome you into the Western family. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Now today, we also confer an honorary degree upon Paul Corkum in acknowledgement of his contributions to the development of attosecond science and for pushing the boundaries of our understanding how light and matter interact. And I'm delighted to welcome him to this convocation. To present our distinguished candidate, I will now call upon Dean David Wardlaw, Faculty of Science.
Paul Corkum. Dr. Paul Corkum is a scientist. He is an exceptional scientist, one of Canada's very best ever. This is why the university is honoring him today. Paul started along the path to a scientific career with a bachelor's degree in physics from Acadia University in 1965, following which he obtained a master's and a PhD in physics at Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. He began his working career in 1973 as a scientist at the National Research Council in Ottawa, where he continues to discover new aspects of nature and create new knowledge. Recently, he expanded his workplace to include the University of Ottawa, where he holds a joint appointment and a prestigious Canada Research Chair. After 36 years on the job, you might expect someone to be slowing down. Nothing could be farther from reality in the case of Paul Corkum. Paul is a fast thinker, and he thinks a lot about fastness. He appears to defy the aging process. He is getting faster as he gets older. I'm not talking about his vintage Mustang automobile or his running ability. What I'm referring to is Paul's love of time, and the shorter the better. Paul has for many years been fascinated with very short pulses of laser light and what they can tell us about the inner workings of atoms and molecules. At the National Research Council, he concentrated first on laser physics and then on using femtosecond lasers for studying interaction between light and matter. A femtosecond is 10 raised to the exponent minus 15. That's the number 1 divided repeatedly by 10, 15 times in a row. When electronics, optical equipment, and the characteristics of existing lasers halted what had been steady progression to ever shorter pulses, Paul turned his experience, creativity, and intellect to the situation and figured out how to use atoms or molecules themselves in tandem with existing lasers to generate the shortest laser pulses of all time. The duration of these pulses is measured in something called attoseconds. That's spelled A-T-T-O. An attosecond is 10 raised to the power minus 18, or 1 divided repeatedly by 10, 18 times in a row. Think of the second and think of ratios. 1 attosecond is to 1 second as 1 second is to the estimated age of the universe. What's so special about these ultra-short pulses? The motion of electrons in atoms and molecules occurs on the attosecond time scale. And this means that attosecond pulses of light can, through a series of snapshots, capture images of the distributions of electrons in a molecule. What's even more powerful is that these pulses can be used to steer and energize electrons, thus enabling some control over the breaking and formation of chemical bonds. Breaking or making a bond is a chemical reaction. The ability to control chemical reactions is one of the long-standing and most important goals in all of science. Paul Corkum is perhaps most widely known as the father of the attosecond light pulse. He has, however, made numerous significant contributions to basic research over his career. As an experimentalist, as a theoretician, as an innovator, as an educator and trainer of young scientists, and as a leader of scientific teams and projects. For his accomplishments, he has received numerous major awards and honors over the past decade. His more recent awards are the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council's Polanyi Prize in 2007 and the Hertzberg Award in 2008. A note about the Hertzberg Award. If Canada had its own equivalent to the Nobel Prizes, the Hertzberg Award would correspond to the Canadian Nobel Prize for Science. He was inducted as an Officer of the Order of Canada and elected as a foreign member of the U.S. Academy of Sciences in 2008. In April 2009, he received a Premier's Discovery Award from Ontario. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and in the name of the Senate, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, upon Paul Bruce Corkum.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Congratulations, Dr. Corkum. A wonderful citation, too. Here's a copy of it. Yeah. On behalf of all assembled here today, I should now like to invite our newest alumnus, Dr. Paul Corkum, to address Convocation.
So, Chancellor Thompson, President Davenport, my new scientific colleagues, proud parents, and other friends. It's really a great privilege to celebrate with you this occasion. This is the end of, I think for many of you, 16 years of study. So it's quite an accomplishment. Over that time, and especially over the last couple of years, you've really learned the canon of science. You've learned the work of Newton, Darwin, Heisenberg, all kinds of people, Maxwell, Einstein, Pauling, all of these people you've learned about and what they thought. It's really amazing, it seems to me, how these people can speak across the continents and across the centuries to us even today. And now it's your turn to start out and try to add to this grand edifice of science that we have inherited, to build it even grander and to apply it to improving really the world. So that's what you're you will do over the next 30 years, it seems to me. You will add to the edifice of science. So I thought it would be interesting to tell you a little bit of what the life of science would be like, what this life that you've chosen for yourself is like. And so I thought I could give you some views of what that's like from the sociology of science, or maybe you could say the life it brings, to quote Jeremy Bernstein, a famous science writer. So actually, when I was your age, I did two things. I graduated, of course, like you are, and I did a second thing, and that is I married. My wife, who's actually sitting right here. She's an artist. I like the fact that in this marriage, science and art were sort of coming together in a way. And so this combination of science, art, these two creative endeavors of man. And so I married this writer, and through her eyes I began to see science and what it was really like and what the profession was like. Now, my wife is sort of an outgoing person, as I think many artists are. They're sort of gregarious people. And I often thought of scientists as sort of introverts, and I think I sit within those. I'm a bit of an introvert. And so it was interesting to see what the actual professions were really like. The actual profession of science is really not an introverted profession. It's a profession of discussion, of arguing, not arguing in a bad way. It's arguing to come to a conclusion. It's a profession of traveling, of explaining. It's a profession of writing. It's really a very social profession. I can't think of hardly any profession that is more social than the profession of science. And actually, through her eyes, I began to see writing and art and those kind of things, and these gregarious people often, in fact, worked alone. Whoever heard of a writer, a novel written by a group of writers, it's only really one, or a painter written by a group of painters, it's really only one in almost all cases. Where, on the contrary, whoever heard of a scientific paper written by one person, it's almost never the case. And so the two professions are very different. The profession you entered into is a very social profession, it turns out. I wouldn't have understood that when I was in your place. So a second thing that I didn't understand at that time, but I understand now, is sort of the spectrum of friends that you develop in science. You find out that there are really two classes of friends you develop. There's, of course, your social friends, your neighbors, like everybody has, your neighbors you share with them. Hockey, barbecues, children, school, all of those things that you share with normal social friends. But there's a set of scientific friends as well. These are the people through who you share science ideas with. You don't necessarily share those with your neighbors because they don't always understand all of the details of what you've been thinking about. And these science friends can come from, well, really anywhere in the world. Friends in, I don't know, think about where they might come from. They might come from Korea. They might come from many different places. They might come from China, might come from the Soviet Union. They might come from India. And these become your friends. They actually, you get to know them. You invite them to dinner. You meet their families. You see their children, and they become friends, just like your normal social friends. But you share a different thing. You meet them in a different way. You share different aspects of your life with these kind of friends. Actually, I myself got to know a number of people from the Soviet Union, or the former Soviet Union. It was the Soviet Union at the time, and it was now the former Soviet Union. And through their eyes, I watched the Soviet Union decay. And I watched them struggle to help their families, food, medicine, all those things that were very difficult in the Soviet Union in those times. And I felt for them and tried to help us here and there as much as one could. And in fact, there's a strong connection with the University of Western Ontario from this particular case, because one of my close scientific colleagues in Russia had a daughter, actually had a daughter when he was visiting Canada. He was here for 6 months during the time that his daughter was born. And this daughter, of course, grew up, and eventually she was entering college, and he wanted to find a way to get her to a better place. The Soviet Union was in terrible shape, or New Russia was in terrible shape. And so this daughter of his, her name was Natalie. She came to the University of Western Ontario as an exchange student. I think it was in her second year of university. And well, she liked it here, and she stayed, and she finished her economics degree, and then she stayed, and she did a Master's of Economics. And so the University of Western Ontario, I would say, changed her life. She now lives in Toronto, and she works for the mayor of Mississauga. So it's a great story, and the University of Western Ontario has made a great change in that one person's life. A third thing I didn't understand is that discussions in science are different than discussions in normal life. And, well, because discussions in science in some ways are more frank, you have to learn to, well, you have to learn to look carefully, argue a point. If you don't argue carefully and strongly a point, you can easily do dumb experiments, do dumb calculations, things, do things that you could do much better if you argued carefully and strongly, but politely. And so in science, I don't know if you're aware of it, but in science we've learned how to do that in many cases. We have rules for how to discuss with people. And well, again, I didn't realize this, and it was really my wife that began to point out to me, maybe because of our discussions amongst herself, but she didn't say it that way, so she was much too polite to do that. But she would watch us scientists talk and how we talked and how we talked frankly, but we would talk without taking offense. And it's, I think, a completely different one of the things that we've learned that's very useful, I think, as you go forward in life. So I spoke earlier about learning science, the canon of science that you've learned over the last few years. And, well, when you think about the world's issues, the things that are really facing us now, they're almost all, many of them are scientific at least. If you think about those things that are most important, health, education, transportation, communications, food production, all of these have a major scientific component to it. And actually, if you go beyond that and you think of those issues of international importance or national importance, a great deal of them are also scientifically related. Again, think about it. Global warming is so much in the news, it's clear. Energy supplies is so much in the news, it's clear. War, security, these are all huge scientific components. And so it's clear that science, the society itself needs your skills, and I think will value them very much. So it's wonderful you've done all of this work. Really, all the way through, I think, your life, you will work on these problems, sometimes directly, mostly indirectly, maybe so indirectly you hardly realize that you're working on them, but that's what you really be working on. And because we really only can possibly ourselves as individuals contribute only a small part, but together with many of us working on these problems, you make progress. And that's what you'll do over the next 30 or 40 years. So I would say 20 or 30 years from now, some of you will probably stand on the stage like me and receive an honorary degree. I would say, looking at this audience here, it's statistically inevitable. So it might be you, it might be your neighbor, I'm not sure who. But you can think about it, because I think it's statistically inevitable. You'll have to be there. Some of you come up with completely new ideas that nobody have ever had before. And that's really exciting to do, and of course very important. Some of you will be elected to the Order of Canada. Some of you will become Fellows of the Royal Society of Canada. Again, I think it's statistically inevitable. So one of you, maybe more, will do that. So some of you will start companies. Some of you become teachers to inspire the next generation, as I think I was inspired by a teacher to be here. So maybe one of you will become a politician. It's hard to know what all of you will do. It's a wonderful time. There are so many possibilities. So I would like to end by giving my congratulations to you, wishing you great success in all of the different creative ways that you will pursue the opportunities open now to you in science. And if you ever come to Ottawa, you're welcome to come to visit my laboratory. So give a call, come see some lasers. It's full of students and postdoctoral fellows and colleagues and scientists, much like yourself, working on really, really exciting ideas. And so you should come and visit. So congratulations and the best of luck.
Thank you, Dr. Corkum, for an inspirational address and for speaking directly to our students about the exciting life of a scientist. You have firmly established your reputation as one of Canada's leading scientists, and your work with the National Research Council has been of tremendous importance to our country and to the community of learning throughout the world. Your pioneering work on the application of laser technology to atoms and subatomic particles has led to true scientific breakthroughs and made it possible for you and your colleagues to better understand complex chemical reactions. Your peers have recognized your extraordinary achievements in science by bestowing upon you the Polanyi Prize and the Hertzberg Award, among many others. It is an honor to welcome you on behalf of our university and to celebrate your becoming Western's newest honorary alumnus. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in congratulating Dr. Paul Corkum.
At this time, I take pleasure in asking the Vice Chancellor to present the recipient of the Edward G. Pleva Award for Excellence in Teaching.
The Edward G. Pleva Award for Excellence in Teaching was established in 1987. Each year, the Pleva Award recognizes 4 full-time faculty members whose outstanding contributions to teaching have earned them numerous awards and wide renown. Would Professor Robert Dean please step forward? Professor Dean from the Department of Biology is described by his students as, and I'm quoting, always maintaining his integrity as a responsible, assertive, and passionate teacher. He is devoted to the profession of teaching and has demonstrated sustained excellence in this profession. Professor Dean's distinguished career includes nearly a dozen peer-reviewed articles regarding science education, and he co-authored BioAnimate, a software used in more than 200 institutions throughout the world. Robert Dean has been inspiring biology students and colleagues at Western since 1975 and was appointed a faculty member in 2001. His exemplary teaching was recognized in 2006 with the Faculty of Science Award for undergraduate teaching. Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present to you Professor Robert Dean, recipient of the Edward G. Pleva Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Congratulations, Robert. Just terrific. This is really good. I have a certificate here for you, and we have a medal. At this time, I take pleasure in asking the Vice Chancellor to present the recipient of the Marilyn Robinson Award for Excellence in Teaching.
The Marilyn Robinson Award for Excellence in Teaching was established in 1997. It honors the memory of an enthusiastic and inspirational teacher who was much loved and respected by both colleagues and students. Would Professor Felix Lee please step forward? Professor Lee, from the chemistry department, enjoys helping students learn by getting them involved and encouraging them to understand. His well-rounded list of accomplishments is emphasized by his incredible teaching evaluation scores, which are routinely at the very highest level. In addition to his teaching, Professor Lee has also been involved in an extensive restructuring of the first-year chemistry course. While his involvement increases, his colleagues have noted his commitment and ability. Professor Lee has taught at Western since 2004 and has been recognized by the USC Teaching Honor Roll for the past 3 years. Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present to you Professor Felix Lee, recipient of the Marilyn Robinson Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Congratulations. You can tell you're very popular with your students. Very good. I have a scroll here for you. Felix, well done. Thank you. I take pleasure in asking the Vice Chancellor to present to Convocation our newest appointed Professor Emeritus.
The designation of Professor Emeritus is an honorary title which recognizes long and distinguished academic service. Professor Colin Baird, please step forward. Professor Colin Baird received his Bachelor of Science and PhD degrees in chemistry from McGill University. He joined Western in 1968 and rose to the rank of full professor. His research is centered in computational chemistry. Professor Baird has received the National 3M Teaching Award, our highest national honor for teaching, the Provincial Okufa Award, and Western's Plevo Award. He served 2 terms as Director of the Educational Development Office and was instrumental in initiating the undergraduate Environmental Science program. Mr. Chancellor, may I present Professor Colin Baird, Professor Emeritus.
Congratulations. I hope you're not going to go to the beach or anything, but stay active. Good. Thank you.
Will the candidates for degrees please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I am honored to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed their academic programs at Western. I ask you to admit them to the degrees and diplomas for which they have been recommended by the Senate of the University.
Under the authority vested in me by the Senate, you will be admitted to the degrees and diplomas as shall be announced by the public orators.
Will the candidates please be seated? Mr. Chancellor, graduating students, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Convocation is the single most important time of celebration in the life of the University of Western Ontario. Today we honor those graduating students who, through determination, hard work, and intelligence, have met the demanding standards of a Western degree. We also honor their families, including their parents, spouses, and children, who have played such an important role in helping our graduating students to reach the milestone which our ceremony today represents. Today is a proud day for all of us associated with Western, including our Board of Governors and Senate, our faculty, our staff, and our many friends in the community. I am pleased by the presence today of so many members of this community of learning who have gathered to celebrate this important day in the lives of our graduates and the life of Western. Those of you who crossed the stage today will be joining a very special group, Western alumni, who number more than 240,000 people around the world. Mr. Jim Etherington is here representing the Alumni Association today. He's had a long, distinguished service on behalf of Western alumni, and I would ask him please to stand and be recognized. Western's Board of Governors is charged with responsibility for the overall governance of this institution, and that includes reaching out to the regions around us. Today we have with us a representative of the Greater Southwestern Ontario and London's region, Warden Joanne Vanderheyden, representing our Board of Governors. She's an outstanding community leader. I would ask her, please, to stand and be recognized. Let me offer a special thank you to all of the parents, spouses, children, relatives, and friends who are here today to join in our celebration of academic achievement. Without your support, our graduates, in many cases, might not have been able to complete their academic programs. So I ask that our graduating students please rise once again, turn around and face your family and friends, and give them a round of applause for the love and support that made this day possible. Now let me congratulate once again the remarkable women and men who graduate today with Western degrees. Today you become partners in the outstanding academic achievements of the University of Western Ontario. I charge you then, as graduates of a distinguished Canadian institution, never to forget the great benefits you have acquired in this place, and to remember always that wherever you go, you carry with you the good name of the University of Western Ontario. This will be my last week of convocation at Western. On June 30, I will retire after having been your president for 15 years. During that time, I have watched our university transformed by the dedication and hard work of faculty, staff, students, and alumni. I offer them all, and I offer you my most profound thanks. And to our graduating students, please accept my warmest wishes to each and every one of you. Good luck. Before we proceed with the ceremonies, I have two special requests for those of you in the audience. First, please withhold your applause for the graduates crossing the stage until each group of graduates has received degrees. This will ensure that every graduate receives our full courtesy throughout the ceremony. Second, we know that photographs are an important memory of this occasion to the graduates and their families. To ensure you and the audience have the best opportunity to get good pictures, I ask that you do the following. When your special graduate is about 40 names in the program from crossing the stage, please proceed to the area along the wall to my right, over there, and the ushers will guide you forward in order that you may capture your special moments with your cameras. I now call on the public orators to introduce the candidates for degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates from the Faculty of Graduate Studies for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Andrew Jonathan Conley. Hui Ding. John Jan Drozd. Ariel Finkelstein. Abdullah Hassanzadeh Goslow. Mohammed Shahidul Islam. Andrew Leduc. Yashin Lee. Ying Li. Haining Liang. Patrick Peter MacDonald. Tan Tuk Nhu. Felix Quado Opong. Jin Hui Chin. Carmen Romero. He Wang. Xiaofeng Wang. Adam Gordon Yates. Jun Zhu.
Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Master of Science: Brian Leslie Boys, Narin Chun, Mohammed Faisal Islam Chowdhury. Ling Ding, Andrea Domokos, Laura Donkervoort. Vishal Gupta, Jennifer Hutchison, Blessing Iserinren. Hanlin Lu, Tran Phuong Robert Luong, Sarah Elizabeth Malik. Tim Officer, Amit Regmi, Smisha Thomas. Jaiming Yu, Yan Zhang, Chen Zhao. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates from the Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry and the Faculty of Science for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Medical Sciences honors programs. Peri Abdallah, Mishuka Adhikari, Sise Michael Abraham. Tae Yun An, Abdullah Al Ajani, Noha Bakri Al Bakri. Justin Arcaro, Julia Assini, Sarah Obin. Vanessa Bakal, Mohammed Khalid Bakhtash, Robin Lee Bacon. Cassandra Baldi, Michelle Bale, Jamie Bello. Shauna Leanne Biederman, gold medalist. Peter Burks, Jonathan Blackadar. William Bortolin, Drew Bourret, Benjamin Alexander Boyd. Jennifer Boyd. Stephanie Brown, gold medalist. Susanna Buach. Carolina Bula Quiroga. Frances Bouty. Emily Cancross. Sarah Calder, Lorraine Canham, Colin Carruthers. Amrita Chakraborty, Brian Pakho Chan, Eddie Chan. Victoria Chan Kwan, Ryan Chanyi, Braden Charlton, gold medalist. Caroline Chi, Yanan Chen, Shuk Yi Chen. Elaine Chung, Johnson Chung, Jennifer Mary Chitilian. Anthony Chow, Dae Kwon Chung, Kai Tai Wallace Chung. Karen Kin Yang Chung, Sarah Cloutier, Andrew Cormier. Justin Crawford, Sarah Cribby, Leah Cuddy. Thomas Jonathan Cuff, Nicholas Delosio, Brian Davis. Jordan Dimone, Lauren Dimena, Jacqueline Debold. Yang Ding, Matthew Doak, Donna Du. Ernest Penn Ebert, Mircea Eftimescu, Faranek Sarah Esmibegi. Samantha Esmond, Emma Marie Farley, Nicholas John Fetterman. Ji Chao Feng, Andrea Sangeeta Fernandez, Lior Flor. Naya Fraley, Jessica Friedlich, Christina Hoi Ling Fung, Governor General Silver Medalist. Michael Charles Dominic Galomazet, Shrindi Ganji, Hillary Michi Garland. Bethlehem Gebeyehu, Laura Gizi, Jesse Goldmaker. Robert Greenland, Jill Amy Greenspoon, Emily Frances Griffiths. Moti Gullason, Shipa Gupta, gold medalist, Thomas Geversdes. John Hatchie, Joshua Halperin, Shannon Hamill. Emily Hansen, Nafiz Imtiaz Hassan, Clayton Hattleman. Jacqueline Hayworth, Erica Hett, Jack Hickmott.
Alexander Hodgson, Rochelle Catherine Huvenars, Cara Hurd. Scott Hughes, Sarah Humphrey, Jordan Hudson. Sarah Yahel Ikowitz, gold medalist. Jonathan Inslee, Peter Ip Fung Chin. Sami Iqbal, Wasim Iqbal, Ola Ziad Ismail. Michael Riley Jackson Jacob, Iman Yanemi, Carolyn Jeffs. Sean Jiang, Jonathan Johnson, gold medalist. Yi Haley Yin. Emily Bentley Jones, Kevin Gregory Konya, David Kao. Tomas Kaznitsi, Smita Asha Kusal, Ashley Kim. Natalie Klusterman, Alan Koff, Julie Beth Kopitz, gold medalist. Daniel David Kreitzer, Elizabeth Ruth Kruger, Jason Lamb. Jeffrey Law, Diana Laurie, Francis LeBlanc. Hawa Lee, Jack Lee, Carmen Leung.
This is just Lou, and that looks like Ritza. Okay.
Joanne Cho Young Leung, Agnes Young Yi Liu, Jennifer Ritza Lee, gold medalist. Michelle Lee, Raymond Lee, Andrea Yuning Low. I did that. Okay. I know. Okay, good. Carice Y.K. Look, Ryan Lum Tai, gold medalist. Ken Ma. Kurt McDonald, Alexandra Sophie Louise Mayer, Basim Mansour. Theodore Martin, Evan Marteau, Marlene Mastronardi. Cole McClarty, Robert Alexander Mee, Ryan Milan. Kiyang Chun Min, Omer Moharam, Evelina Ann Moniz. Martha Montano, Jason Moreau, Alex Morgan. Renee Nelson, Deborah Ing, Amelia Ann Noon. Lindsay Obrecht, Sabrina Panetta, Kristen Patterson. Tyler Peel, Maggie Pellerin, Lisa Pinnell. Ashley Fong, Nicholas Pilecki, Fraser Thompson Pollard. Daniel Pringle, Frank Pooh, David Michael Putnam. Michael Robert Rager, Manik Reina, Liveyu Ralia. Jason Reed, Andrew Revez, Catherine Rinker. Teresa Amy Elizabeth Robertson, Sharania Satkana Nathan Schechter. Natalie Leanne Seiler, Devin Schufelt, Ryan Shug. Aruj Siddiqui, Jordan Anthony Gordon Sim, Michael Sinclair. Tina Lynn Singh, Stephanie Spadato, Jason Stein. Seth Stern, Jason Stewart, Jennifer Stewart.
Let's try this
Lakshmimathi Subramanian, Colin Suin, gold medalist, Ludmila Kaisi Tan. Doris Tang, Waihao Tang, Christopher Louis Tirola. Christina Taylor, Michelle Marie Taylor, Shane Thomas. Mallory Frances Victoria Troop, Miriam Wing San Sao, Francis Tumini. Harpal Hubi, Sandy Van, Deanna Kathleen Vertesi. Michael Jeffrey Wagner, Kyle Mitchell Walker, Laura Walker, gold medalist. Jillian Walsh, Daniel Way, John Bradley Wiggers, gold medalist. Alexandra Mackenzie Williams, Frederick Wu, Peter G.Y. Wu. Stacy Zhu, Stacy Melanie Yemchuk, Blaze Zayak. Yelena Zavalishnia, Jeffrey Michael Zenny.
This is a group of ones that you just say the following is a candidate. Donofrio. Donofrio. Okay.
Mr. Chancellor, the following is a candidate from the Faculty of Science for the degree of Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Arts honors programs. Antonella Jessica D'Onofrio. Good. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Science honors programs. Ashley Abraham, Bara Al-Khazraji, Tamer Akila. Alicia Albert Green, gold medalist. Wendy Alexander, Amanda Ali. Alicia Marie Allen, Stephen Ellingham, Christina Alonzi. Kristen Kennedy Ambacher, gold medalist. Ryan Appleby, Christina Elizabeth Wales Arnold. Michael Ashby, Jessica Avery, Yu Bai, gold medalist. Christopher Bailey, Emily Baker, Diana Balmer. Brittany Barber, Annalise Beaton, Rachel Belanger. Sorry. Sure. Jennifer Lynn Bell, Joshua Bell, Nicole Benjamin. Jennifer Berberick, Amardeep Bogo, Bhavik Kiran Bullabai. Sorry. Nalini Nadine Bupp, Emma Jean Biondi, Shannon Bligden. Erica Borshever, Jordana Boro, Matthew Boyd. Elisa Branson, Lisa Brelland, Crystal Bross, Gregory Allen Brown, Tyler Brunt, Hillary A. Buckentero, Mackenzie Budamer Hussein, James Michael Burrows, Rachel Butler. Melissa Byers, Adrian Elizabeth Campbell, gold medalist. Jenna Cameron, gold medalist. Andrew Lim Phai Chan, Justine Chan, Stephanie Chan. Simone Chaudhary, Amy Chi, Chihei Choi. Hiram Chong, Sarah Chuyik, Alexander Chorley. Amanda Chow, Stephen Chu, Michelle Chung. Matthew Cohen, gold medalist. Marcus John Couch, Stephanie Ann Crowley. Shahab Dabaran Zahuri, Shivang Danak, Yvette Dahan. Mark DeMello, Michael Robert DeRink, gold medalist. Jessica Tina Devar. Zlatibor Duric, Aline Doherty, Ravi Dubé. Kayla Driver, Yang Du, Christine Dubo. Hathu Duong, Michelle Duong, Jason Eastman, gold medalist. Caitlin Edie, Michael Emmett, Chris Engbers. Samantha Engels, Nikita Eskin, Haley Faulkner. Shireen Fernando, Graham Floyd, Justine Forbes. Adam Forrestal, Lisa Fox, Carolyn Friedman. Jiang Fu, Ainsley Furlonger, Michelle Anna Marie Gabriel. Justine Lee Garner, Elizabeth Alexandra Garside, Farah Gonem. Avinash Ghosh, Mark Guyers, JC Garafi. Shanyu Guan, Leonard Guizetti, Anna Elizabeth Hassan. Zachary Hall, gold medalist. Paige Harden. David Robert Hatchard. Brandon Hurd, gold medalist. Brandon Hempel. Victoria Beth Hewlett. Elena Hills, Ashley Howarth. Stephen Holterman Tenhove. Brian Hu. Shinshen Huang. Christopher James Husband. Scott Takao Hutchison. Amanda Israel. Dmitry Ivanov. Kalina Jakubchuk. Katarzyna Janis. Jordan Jarvis. Corey Justin. Kodeep Kainth. Rohan Kaura. Rochelle Knippenyer. Chelsea Laura Kaplansky. Heidi Keller, gold medalist. Ainsley Diane Kerr. Eric Kasky. Takir Khan. Alicia Kisma. Sylvia Kim. Sean Cameron Cohat.
Ladies and gentlemen, because this is an exceedingly long degree group, we want to rotate our orators at this moment, and I think we would all like to offer our applause to the first half of the alphabet.
Matthew Crayer, Votek Kuwach, Arthur Kwok. Michael LaLiberty, Wei Man Lam, gold medalist. Simon Landman, gold medalist. Julie Langman, gold medalist. Amanda Jessica Laren. Kia Lashek. Vlad Christian Latsu, David Lawrence, Jamie Lesperance. Guangyu Li, Jiang Li, Kevin Lineback. Jacqueline Hillary Linzon Smith, Stanley Yufei Liu, Victoria Dawn Lytle. Melissa McDonald, Pamela McDonald, gold medalist. Melissa Amy McPherson. Melissa Mayo, Shaimel Majathia, Arif Mamdani. Zen Hamid Mariani, Maria Angela Marinas, gold medal. Catherine Markham. Justin Mayers, Lindsay McCallum, Matthew McCann. John Paul McCool, Mark McFarland, Alexandra Sarah McMaster. Vonda T.K. McNiven, Jose Samuel Mahia, Melissa Milkey. Megan Miggles, Mark Megwis, Scott Mills. Dina Mistry, Brian Monahan, Angela Morley. Kelly Matolko, Daniel Marie Nash, Ray Lynn Nesbitt. Timothy Nguyen, Lauren Elizabeth Nielsen, Na Niu. Laura Nurse, Melanie Catherine O'Loughlin, gold medalist. Benjamin O'Reilly, gold medalist. Michael Odom, Andrew Ostro, gold medalist. Helen Paciocco. Laura Leanne Paddock, Tessa Jane Pauling, Corey Palmer. Anunja Panditrail, Michelle Leanne Parsons, Yannick Patel. Lee Ann Paulseth, Matthew Pollock, Justine Aline Pazur. Daniel Pearlstein, Dean Percy, gold medalist. Tam Min Pham. Rebecca Phillips, Mark Pilligan, Larissa Opal Pocarati. Feng Qiu, Kevin Kwa, Louis Quayle. Melissa Rafool, Stephanie Reed, Powell Reich. Milagros Francesca Reyes, Paul Ritchie, Todd Richardson. Elena Ristevska, Mark Rivard, gold medalist. Tariq Robinson. Benjamin Rosen, Shail Rotman, Stephen William Routledge. Ashbeal Roy, Adam John James Ruddy, Amanda Elizabeth Ruji. Ian Rupar, Carolina Salazar Arcilia, Rowena Sangrar. Stephanie Marie Santos, Caitlin Schellenberger, Andreas Schneider. Andrea Scott, Mia Siegel, Nicole Elizabeth Seymour. Maxwell Schaefer, Vrajesh Shah, Joel Schenk. Jeffrey Shantz, gold medalist. Pooja Sharma, Melissa Allison Sheehan. Adam Sheldon, Swadik Shemseddin, Alicia Shin. Mandy Shipley, Michael William Short, Juliana Sienna. Emily Simpson, Thiru Sivakumaran, Jennifer Lindsay Smith. Kristen Snell, Mausi Susu, Jovan Spinato. Robin Spring, Jeremy Springer, Oliver Squire. Sean Simmons, Colin Surgeoner, Tunde Zabo. Adam Tam, Joshua Tam, Jesse Tangway. Natalie Taylor, Lisa Theng, Gayanthi Shiani Thilavasan. Julia Thompson, Paul Christopher Tingy, Kirsten Tomlin. Yao Tong, Christine Tran, Cynthia Tran. Jonathan Trick, Juka Ume, Patricia Ung. Erfan Vafai, Kristen Elizabeth Van Diepen, Craig Vecchio. Matthew Volek, Kelly Vosberg, Trung Vu. Neil Walker, Paul Samuel Waltz, Mehu Wang. Sarah Warnock, Chelsea Warshawski, Taylor William Wasco. Lauren Ashley Watson, Sarah Webb, Aaron Webster. Whitney Weissar, Deliney Wijayanaka, Man Ling Wong. Christine Ray, Peter Christopher Wright, Jackie Yim, gold medalist. Haeyoung Yu, Natalie Rose Zagordo, Zhao Bei Zhu. Wendy Zhu, Chelsea Zakari, Jason Noah Zimmerman.
The following is a candidate. Just
Mr. Chancellor, the following is a candidate for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Science, Honors Food and Nutrition. Fan Tang. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Science, Honors Human Ecology. Yunlin Kay, Colleen Alice Powell. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Science, four-year program. Jisan Liu, Ari Zelenka.
In the name of the Senate, I grant to the Registrar the authority to confer degrees and diplomas to those candidates whose names appear in the official program, but who are not present today. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Jim Etherington, past president of our Alumni Association, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. My fellow alumni, I detect an aura that you've identified me as one of the few things between you and party time. So I'll be extremely brief. I'll be beautifully brief. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Alumni Association, I do welcome you as a member and urge you to take advantage of the many services and opportunities and discounts and programs that you're now entitled to as a member of the Alumni Association, so check it out. I would also remind you of the reception by the Alumni Association in your honor in the UCC atrium when you go back to take back your regalia, and that's also open to your parents and friends that you've brought with you today, and so it'll be a nice little party for you. And I have one last thought. Have a great life.
Before closing Convocation, I wish to express my appreciation to all who have contributed to the success of the day. And in particular, and on your behalf as well, I want to thank the University of Western Ontario Convocation Brass for their magnificent performance and their director, Professor James Mackay. Yay. And may I request that the audience remain in their seats while the academic procession leaves the hall. Convocation is now adjourned.